on!
I feel we should, but first, let's see him in the wonderful Don't Look Now.
Hey, Kiefer, vengo qui. Qui. La barca. Qui. No, la barca. Aspettami. Aspetta. Hey!
Brutto mezzo! Perché chiappo, ti ammazzo! Maledetto!
Dove vai? Ehi!
Acchiappatelo! Colpi! Aspetta! Disgraziata!
Please welcome Donald Sutherland. Mr. Sutherland, how lovely have you. Thank you for waiting back there for us.
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland, ladies and gentlemen, how lovely to have you here, sir. Thank you so much.
I'm bloody glad to be here, actually. It's warm out here.
Is it really what we call taters back there?
Yeah, I left my rubbers on. Sorry.
We don't call them rubbers over here. That means something else.
It was freezing.
Was it really freezing cold?
Yes.
I'm really sorry. Do you want a hug to warm you up?
No.
You want to come and snuggle up with you?
No,
Shall we
I
spoon
kind
a
of
little
came
bit?
forward hoping for one and maybe a little dance, but nothing.
How nice to have you here. Hey, welcome back to London. I know you've been here any number of
Welcome
times.
back to your show.
Well, yeah, well, this is a different one now.
I know.
You came in 21 years ago.
Yes.
That's a long time. Do you remember it?
No. But it was good.
It was great. You were so kind and so friendly.
You were
so nice.
Shit. Excuse me.
Look at that. He hasn't changed. Still exposing himself.
No, I'm old.
Well, thanks for telling us. We hadn't noticed. You're not that old, are you? How old are you, Don?
72.
72? Wow.
They're applauding me that I've made it?
Yeah. Well, you've lived a life,
Is this
haven't you?
like a goodbye or something?
We give you a Lifetime Achievement Award, then we bury you.
Thank you.
That's what happens. Well, you've made some great movies over the years, man. You've worked hard, because 72, I don't know how many years, what, 50 years in the business, you would say?
55.
55, started as a youngster. And you've made over 100 movies, I believe you've been in, as well as many TV appearances?
150.
150 films? Wow, so you must be pretty much solid working, aren't you?
All the time.
Do you never take a break? You don't want to take time off from that?
I can't afford it. It's true. I have mortgages up to here.
So it's a financial thing?
Yeah.
Man, what do you look for in a role? Because, you know, if we're talking about financial remuneration, I know you've turned down any number of big movies over the years that you wouldn't do for personal reasons.
Yes.
I believe Deliverance was one movie you offered a lead role in, and Straw Dogs. And big movies that became international hits that would have made you a bigger name than you are already.
Yes.
So it's not just money, is it?
No, it's foolhardiness.
You really think that you wish you had taken those roles now?
No, you know something? If I had... I would be serious. I was so impressed with your use of the word I mean, it's only in this country. In this country, if you listen to British Cockney rhyming slang from Newgate Prison, they have two words, a Burke and a granny. Are you familiar with Cockney rhyming slang?
Yeah, but I didn't know a Burke and a granny. I think we all know the basics.
A Burke is a Berkeley Hunt. But that's a guy, or that's someone who is detestable.
So you say, what? So that's where what a Burke comes from.
Is a granny grunt, which is something that you adore and love and cherish.
Who would have thought that we would need a Canadian to tell us two words that we use on a regular basis, both of which mean But you're Canadian, not American, of course. Do you like being known as a Canadian? Are you glad that you're not an American, or do you get mistaken for an American?
In America, I get mistaken for an Englishman.
Oh, wow.
And in England, I get mistaken for an American. But I'm a Canadian from my heart and soul, completely and utterly.
Because over here, we tend to lump Canadians and Americans together, and of course they're very distinct.
Big mistake.
A big mistake.
Huge. My sense of humor is Canadian. My wife finds it very funny. Do you know the story of the two little sperm?
No, but I get a feeling you're just about to fill us in. No, I'm looking forward to it.
It's different. It's not funny in the United States, but in Canada they love it.
Let's do a little experiment here. Okay. Here we have a humorous story which, for our Canadian friends, brings the house down, I'm sure, on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And Americans either don't understand it or choose not to.
They don't like it.
Okay, let's see what the English think of it.
Okay.
And the Scottish and the Irish and the Welsh, if we have any.
They're two little sperm swimming like that.
Hold it. Already they're loving it, you know.
One of them says, "Boy, oh boy, when are we ever going to get to the womb?" And the other one says, "I don't know. We're not even out of the esophagus yet." They're like Canadians.
See, we like it. We're like Canada. We're brothers and sisters. It's a great story. Perhaps one of you will explain it to me later. Okay, let's talk about some of the directors you've worked with, because you've worked with some brilliant directors, of course. Nick Rogue, I'm thinking of, and of course also the great Federico Fellini. Yeah. What can you tell us about either of those gentlemen?
Well, Nick, I mean, there was a famous love scene in that film.
Now, this is Don't Look Now, of course.
Yeah.
And this was the love scene which many people, when they saw it, assumed was happening for real, that you were really... It did look pretty convincing.
No, actually, it didn't, if you look at it. But I tell you what was magical about it. I mean, when we were doing it, Julie Christie and me, we were 2 days, and we're in a room with cables coming in, and Nick is there with Tony Richmond, and they have two unblimped Aeroflexes. I'm told you wouldn't understand what an unblimped Aeroflex is. It's an Aeroflex camera with the casing taken off it. Which makes it sound like a Singer sewing machine. It's an incredible noise. So there was no microphone in the room. And Julie and I would lie down on the bed, and Nick and Tony would start their cameras like that. And Nick would say, "Okay, Julie, turn your head up. Okay, Donald, kiss Julie on the breast. Okay, Julie, tilt your head back. Okay, Julie, come. So forget about it being real.
But, you know, people did at the time speculate as to what it was.
But the reason why they did it, because of the way he cut it.
Yeah.
He took the love scene, and you only saw us together for 5 or 10 or 15 seconds, and then we were getting dressed, and then we were making love, and then we were getting dressed. And it's a marriage. Yeah, they were married people.
Well,
you're a married person, I'm a married person.
Indeed.
It has to do with a totally different kind of love and affection.
Yeah, it's normally very rare that you can find 5 minutes to do it without the kids bursting in, and often I'm picking a stickle brick out my wife's arse afterwards. Or occasionally a Lego block.
You know, James Joyce, the greatest novelist of the 20th century, the Irish writer, he was being interviewed at the end of his life. He was blind and in Switzerland. And his wife, who had been with him all his life, was his confidant and his secretary, and because of his blindness, his eyes, his muse, his editor, everything. And in the middle of this interview about the very intellectual work of Ulysses and Finnegan's Wake and Portrait of an Artist as a Young Man, the interviewer asked him, what, with this relationship with his wife, what could he say about intimacy? And he thought for a minute, and then he said, "I would know my wife's fart in a room full of farts." That's marriage.
Do you think the blindness had enhanced his other senses? He was like Daredevil. Huh? He was like Daredevil.
No. Deaf people love farting more than anybody.
But, you know, Americans...
Because they can't hear it and identify it. So they don't know who did it. They just know it was done. He didn't notice. When I leaned over this way towards you,
I'm noticing now.
I dropped one. And,
you know, Donald, such as my...
That's what I'm famous for, actually, in movies. When
Well, can I just say, not only that is what you're famous for, I mean, you're also considered a fabulous actress, not just your breaking wind.
I'm an extraordinary farter.
Could you break wind on cue?
I have done. No. But I have to be prepared.
By what? Eating certain things?
Yes.
But it's a good, healthy way to be.
So Nick was a wonderful person to work for.
Okay, what do you look for now in a part? When you're working now, and we established that you're still working, you're working pretty hard, and you're going to be on, well, you're on our TV screens in a series that just started. Well, what is it that you most look for in the part?
It just